Hello everyone, how are you? So I'm Zania Ruef from the Kurd Fairbun website. Today we are having our tennis lesson, and the topic is be used to, the forms of it. Be used to is a very widely common phrase in the English language. It is used in a couple of different ways, and the meaning of each of them is different from the other one, and that makes it a little bit confusing to some students. But once you learn it or hear about it once or twice, then I think you should be able to distinguish between the types of it and be able to also use it on a daily basis. Okay, so let's get into this, okay, together. So forms of be used to. We have 4 forms, okay? I'll stress on this. There might be other ones, but these are the important ones. The first one is when you have a subject, right? Then you have used to. Then you have something else, and that something is either a verb or a noun. We also have some noun phrases, but I'm not going to talk about those because it will complicate the matter for you. This first use, as you can see, it is used as a verb because you have a subject, then you have used, right? So it's a verb in this case. And I will talk about this later. One example, right? I used to love America. I used to. So I have my subject, I have used to here. Then I have my, in this case, it's either a noun or a verb. In this case, I have a verb. I used to love, right? Love is a verb. And the second form is when you have a subject, then you have is, am, and are, one of these, depending on your subject. So if it is she, he, it, you have is. If it is I, you have am. And if it is we and you, then you have are, right? Or if you have they. Then you have used to, then you have a verb. But in this case, the verb takes an ing. It is very, very important. Very, very important, right? It takes an ing. Or you have a noun. So I am, in this case, used to, used is an adjective, and to becomes a preposition. Because it's a preposition, then you should have a gerund after it, as I talked about it in my previous videos. That's why you have the ing added to it. So plain, right? Because I have a verb, I don't have the noun in this case, I have the verb. So the verb takes an ing, play becomes plain. The third use of it is when you have a subject, then is, am, and are, then you have getting used to, then verb ing or a noun. So same as the previous one, but you have getting added to it. So I am getting used to eating meat. I'm getting used to, then you have my verb, and I have an ing in it. Now each of these sentences mean a different thing. They demonstrate a completely different story, and that's why it is important to learn about all of them. My last case is when you have a subject, then you have cannot get used to, all of this phrase together. Cannot get used to, then verb ing or noun, right? Verb ing noun, verb ing noun, verb ing noun, verb noun. The verb in this case is base, okay? It's a base. So my example is they cannot, so they is my subject, cannot get used to, Sarupe, right? Yummy, yummy. I don't like it, do you? Okay, so I'll explain each of these cases thoroughly in my next slides. We'll start from this one, okay? Start from when we have a subject, S stands for a subject, then we have used to something, and that something is either a verb or a noun, one of these two, okay? What does it mean? What does it mean when you use it according to this rule? It demonstrates a past habit, right? Something you used to do or you did in the past, but you don't do it anymore, right? So things you did in the past, but you don't do it anymore, right? But don't do it anymore, right? So it shows you a habit you had in the past, but you don't have it anymore. Look at this example. My mom used to cook dolma for my dad, right? My mom is my subject. Used to is my verb, right? Cook. So the verb should be base. As you see here, my verb is in the base form. Used to cook, right? So I have a verb here. And the rest of the sentence, dolma for my dad, right? So my mom used to cook dolma for my dad. What I'm trying to tell you now is that my mom in the past cooked dolma for my dad, but she doesn't do it anymore. She does not do it now. She did it in the past. It was a habit in the past, right? Second example, Mam Jalal used to give speeches on TV, right? Mam Jalal used to give speeches on TV, right? So Mam Jalal is my subject. Used to is my verb, as you see here. Then I have my second verb, give, right? It's the base form. Give speeches on TV. What I'm trying to tell you now is that in the past, he gave speeches over a long period of time, but he doesn't do that anymore, right? Because he can't, right? So it is something in the past. It sometimes shows you that somebody is there, right? It depends on the situation actually, but in this case what I'm trying to tell you is that Mam Jalal in the past gave speeches, but he doesn't do it now, right? Not now, in the past. Kurdistan used to have a good economy. Kurdistan is my subject, right? Used to, I have it here, right? Used to have a good economy. So it is in the past. Have is my verb. So have a good economy. But I'm trying to tell you that now Kurdistan does not have a good economy. It is in the past, right? It is something in the past, not now, right? So I used to whatever. Let me come up with an example. I used to play tennis, right? So it is something in the past. I is the subject, used to. Play is my verb, tennis, right? So I used to play tennis, right? Right? So different examples. But in this case, when you have the used to as a verb, you usually come up with another verb after it. Noun is kind of rare, okay? So it's usually a verb. So my second usage of it is when you have a subject, is an R, depending on the subject, then used to. In this case, the used to is an adjective, right? Is an adjective. So the to becomes a preposition, and the verb takes ing, or sometimes you have a noun. This one, the meaning is different. It means to become familiar with something. Okay, it has nothing to do with the past or a habit. It's completely different. To become familiar with something, okay? It tells you that something was hard at the beginning for you, but now, for the subject, but now you feel okay, it's easy now, okay? So for example, I am used to studying for mathematics, right? I am used to studying, right? I am used to studying for mathematics. I have I, then I have then used to, then my verb takes an ing, right? And for mathematics. What it tells you that in this sentence is that now, at the beginning it was hard for you to study for math, but now it is better, you feel better, you are used to it, right? It has become a habit in you. Now you don't really think about it that much and you can do it. It's not difficult for you, it's easy, right? So studying for math is easy, that's what you're trying to tell me, for you. The doctor is used to blood and screaming, right? The doctor is my subject, is used to blood. I have a noun here, right? The doctor is used to blood. Why? Because doctors see a lot of blood every day, right? They see a lot of blood every day, so it's a present situation, a present statement in which you're telling me that the doctor is fine with blood, right? He has become familiarized with it, right? At the beginning it was hard for him, but now it is easy. Messi is used to scoring goals, right? Messi, the player, is a subject, is used to. Scoring is my verb. takes an ing, right? Goals. So he is used to scoring goals. At the beginning it was hard for him to score, but now it's easy, right? Very easy for him. So it is easy, right? It means something easy. The third form of it is when you have a subject and ism and are, and you have getting, right? Getting used to. Then you have the verb either ing or a noun. So in this case, what you're trying to tell me is this. It is a process of making something happen, right? It is a process. Getting used to tells you about the process. It tells you that something was hard at the beginning, but now you feel better. It's not easy, but it is easier, right? It's something that you feel better about. Sarah is getting to speak in English, right? Sarah is my subject, is, right? Getting used to. The verb takes an ing, so speaking English. So she doesn't speak English very well yet, but she is better than she was in the beginning, right? So she is getting better in a way, right? The students are getting used to the teacher. The students, is my subject, are, because this is plural, getting used to the teacher. Again, I have a noun, right? Excuse me. So I have a noun here. So in this case, what I'm trying to tell you is that at the beginning it was hard for the students to deal with the teacher, but now it is easier, right? They feel better about it, okay? Anissa is getting used to her new job as an engineer. Anissa, as my subject, is getting used to, right, her new job. So I have a phrase here. It's like a noun phrase. That's all you need to know about it. But again, I don't have a verb, so I don't need ing here. Okay? So my last form of be used to that I'll explain to you is when you have a subject and cannot get used to plus verb ing or a noun. Again, the same thing, right? So in this case, what you are trying to say is this form. The speaker knows, right? She will never do something. She or he, probably in some cases, right? She or he will never do something. So it's a negative sentence, right? Cannot. You have the not right here, right? So, or it was hard at the beginning to do something, but now it is also hard. It will be hard forever, right? It will never be easy. Never easy. So, she cannot get used to driving the bicycle, right? She, subject, cannot get used to driving. My verb takes an ing. The bicycle is my object. So, in this case, she can never ride a bicycle, right? Oh, why am I saying driving? Should be saying riding. That is pretty shameful. I was trying to ride a car, but I changed it, so I didn't go back. Shame. So she cannot get used to riding the bicycle, right? So what I'm trying to say is that she will never be able to ride the bicycle. Maryam cannot get used to the piano. So Maryam is my subject. Cannot get used to is my phrase here. The piano is my noun, right? The piano. So what I'm trying to say is that she will never learn the piano. She will never learn the piano, right? It's not easy for her. It's very hard. It will forever be hard. Hevar cannot get used to wearing t-shirts, right? Hevar is my subject. Cannot get used to. Wearing is my verb, so it takes ing form. T-shirt, right, is my object. So what I'm trying to say here is that Hevar will never be able to wear t-shirts, right? It will never be easy for him. It will always be hard for him to wear t-shirts. So here we go. These 4 forms of the be used to are very important in the English language, and you will see them every day in your daily conversations, and I hope you will be able to use them, but they are not that hard, but it requires you to practice. That's everything in Grammar 3. Everything requires you to practice, because everything needs you to be able to learn it in a kind of longer pace. Okay. So thanks for registering for Kut Verboon. I'm very happy about that. And please email me via these 2 emails if you ever needed help. I will be very happy to help you, and I'll be giving you suggestions, corrections. I'll be listening to your criticism and any advice you might have for me. I'd be happy to share stories with you and help you in your learning. Okay, enjoy your time, and thank you for registering for Kut Verboon again. I hope